Welcome to this DME On Demand presentation for fee schedule payment categories. The information given in this training is correct as of October 2022. The most current information related to this topic can be found on the Noridian DME website at the link listed on this slide. Most DME POS items fall into one of 7 fee schedule categories: inexpensive or routinely purchased, frequent and substantial service items, customized items, prosthetic and orthotic devices, capped rental items, oxygen and oxygen equipment, and parenteral enteral nutrition therapy. These categories are all identified in Chapter 5 of the Noridian Supplier Manual, the path to which will be provided on the resources slide of this presentation. Before we delve into the specifics of each fee schedule payment category, it's important to know how to determine which category a particular DME POS item falls into. This can be done by using the Pricing, Data Analysis, and Coding, or PDAC contractor website. For their homepage, click DME CS left picture. A separate browser window will open when you choose the Fee Schedule Lookup tab. Noridian encourages suppliers to test out each of the different types of search functions. However, for this purpose, we'll use the Fee Schedule Lookup section. In this section, type a DME POS Healthcare Common Procedure Coding System or HCPCS code. For this example, I've used E0100. The website will automatically default to today's date. However, it can be customized with a particular date of service. The screen shown here should appear upon pressing the search button. Our E0100 HCPCS is a cane, and our search has indicated it is an inexpensive and routinely purchased item. In addition, you can search by a specific state or look up all states at one time. There is also the rural zip code checker. You may enter a zip code and date of service to determine if it's in a rural area. Let's discuss the specifics of these categories, starting with inexpensive and other routinely purchased durable medical equipment, which is also known as IRP. This category is divided into 2 subcategories: inexpensive DME, which is defined as equipment whose purchase price does not exceed $150, and other routinely purchased DME, which consists of equipment that is purchased at least 75% of the time. Payment for this type of equipment is for rental or lump sum purchase. The total payment amount may not exceed the actual charge or the fee for a purchase. Also be aware that per Supplier Standard 5, a supplier must advise beneficiaries that they may rent or purchase inexpensive or routinely purchased durable medical equipment. Modifiers used with IRP items include the RR modifier, which is used to identify an item that is being rented, the NU modifier, which is used for new equipment that is purchased, and the UE modifier, which is also used for purchase, but only on used equipment. Used equipment is considered any equipment that has been purchased or rented by someone before the current purchase transaction. Used equipment also includes equipment that has been used under circumstances where there has been no commercial transaction. For example, equipment used for trial periods or as a demonstrator. Our next category is for items that require frequent and substantial servicing. Equipment in this category are paid on a rental basis only. Payment is based on the monthly fee schedule amounts until medical necessity ends. No payment is made for the purchase of equipment, maintenance, and servicing, or for replacement of items in this category. Supplies and accessories are included in the rental, and therefore they are not separately billable. Coverage and allowable amounts for custom equipment will be decided by individual evaluation based on medical indication. The beneficiary's physician must prescribe the customized equipment and provide information regarding the beneficiary's physical and medical status to warrant the need for the equipment. Payment with respect to a covered item that is uniquely constructed or substantially modified to meet the specific needs of an individual beneficiary should be made in a lump sum amount. The following items are needed for coverage to be considered: a detailed description of the item, a description of features that make this item unique, acquisition or production costs of the item, for example, line item cost of materials and or labor. The date of service for custom-made equipment is the actual date the beneficiary receives the item. Do not use the date the item was ordered when billing Medicare. This category consists of all prosthetic and orthotic devices with the exception of the items listed on this slide. These prosthetic and orthotic devices will be paid on a lump sum purchase basis. Remember, when submitting claims for custom-made prosthetic and orthotic devices, the date of service is the date the beneficiary actually receives the item, not the date the item was ordered. Items in this category are paid on a monthly rental basis, not to exceed a period of continuous use of 13 months. For the first 3 rental months, the monthly rental fee schedule is limited to 10% of the average allowed purchase price on assigned claims for new equipment during the base period, updated to account for inflation. For each of the remaining months, the monthly rental is limited to 7.5% of the average allowed purchase price. After 13 months of rental have been paid, the beneficiary owns the DME item, and after that time, Medicare pays for reasonable and necessary maintenance and servicing of the item. For example, parts and labor not covered by a supplier's or manufacturer's warranty. All claims for capped rental items will include the RR modifier, and in addition, depending on the rental month being billed, the KH, KI, or KJ modifier will also need to be appended. Monthly oxygen and oxygen equipment payment is limited to 36 months. The supplier who furnished the oxygen equipment in the first month is required to continue furnishing the equipment for the entire 36-month period. There are a few noted exceptions that would allow for a new or different supplier of oxygen during the 36-month period. This includes if the beneficiary relocates, chooses a new supplier, or an emergency situation is granted by CMS or the DME MAC. If oxygen equipment is replaced because the equipment has been in continuous use by the beneficiary for the equipment's reasonable useful lifetime, or if it's lost, stolen, or irreparably damaged, the beneficiary may elect to obtain a new piece of equipment. In these situations, a new 36-month rental period and new reasonable useful lifetime is started on the date that the new replacement item is furnished. The monthly payment amount for stationary oxygen is subject to adjustment depending on the amount of oxygen prescribed, liters per minute or LPM, and whether or not portable oxygen is also prescribed. This is identified with the use of one of the modifiers on the slide. Parenteral or enteral pumps can be either rented or purchased. When rented, they are processed like capped rental items with 2 notable exceptions. They're not subject to the 25% reduction payment for months 4 through 15, and the beneficiary may elect to purchase the pump at any time. The supplier that collects the 15th month of rental is responsible for the maintenance and servicing of the pump. Maintenance is not covered during the rental period. Chapter 5 of the Noridian Supplier Manual further defines the fee schedule payment categories. It contains additional references regarding fee schedule payment categories for DME POS. These resources will provide even more detailed information regarding billing for these 7 fee schedule payment categories. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our tutorial. Continue your learning experience by referring to additional recordings available on the Noridian website or YouTube channel.